Yo.
Yo.
Jonathan Huberto.
Jonathan Huberto. Hello. Welcome back to the Puck and Stuff podcast with my boy T-Dawg over here. And welcome to the first Flames recap of the season. We have already gone into 1 month of Flames hockey over here. And we're going to talk about it because this is Flames recap. T-Dawg, how you doing over there?
I'm doing pretty good. In the Halloween spirit, I had to get out the Mr. Potato Head. Big Flames fan, by the way. He remembers the Iggy days. He remembers Robin Regier. He remembers Craig Conroy. He remembers Martin Jelena. He remembers Mike Commodore. He remembers Stefan Yell. He remembers Mika Kiprasov. Sorry, more importantly, Roman Turek.
Yes,
Trevor Kidd, yeah, just all those players. Yeah.
In the spirit of Halloween, yes, happy Halloween today. We are recording this on Halloween, and then I can't wait to listen to 2 months of Christmas music. Love this culture. The Flames have played already 7 games. We're 5-2. We are 5-2, which I'm not going to complain about one bit.
Me neither.
But there's always pros and cons to this team, and it's just like last year, penalties. But we're adding a new one, Jacob Markstrom.
Well,
What's going on?
You know what they say? Well, a man can dream.
A man can dream.
A man can dream that a hockey team could be perfect and you're never stressed about them, but that's a complete farce and a fantasy that'll never come true because it's sports.
It is sports.
That's just how it happens.
So sad.
What do you think about the first, is it 7 games?
Yep.
Yeah, 7 games. How do you feel about this new roster, this new team, just the gel? We have to remember, and I have to tell myself this too, it's just 7 games. It does not mean certain players are busts, certain players are bad contracts. It doesn't mean this one player is gonna win like the Selke or whatever. It's just 7 games.
First 7 games in, I'm not gonna lie, I'm very happy. I was actually very proud of what the Flames have been doing so far in the first 7 games, especially for a team that just lost 2 superstars, brought in some new superstars to kind of be leading the charge for the team. And honestly, it's gelling really well. A lot more than I expected at the beginning of the season. Because we look at them, the 5-3 against Colorado. And that was your first game, which is impressive, which is very impressive. Colorado is still a very strong team. Their goaltending lacking is kind of looking like a lot worse of a situation than they probably thought. But hey, 5-3 against Colorado was great. Then you had the Battle of Alberta in Edmonton. We almost blew the lead, but we came on top 4-3. And then you versed Vegas, and that was a big game too. Logan Thompson was on his head. Came on 3-2. Buffalo lost 6-3. Just nothing was really happening. No good puck
It felt
luck.
like a trap game.
It really did.
You kind of just underestimate them a little bit. This didn't seem... I don't even know if they weren't even tired. It was a weird game.
It was.
They didn't play. They just did not play a good game. Simple as that.
And nothing was going their way. So it was a tough game to watch, but you won't win every single game. And then you versus Carolina. You won in the overtime. That was still pretty... you could have probably played better, in my opinion, but... Hey, you still took a W at the end.
And we did get lucky because a goal was called back because of
offside.
Icing. Offside. You still win though. I mean, you battle hard back. I mean, I think that's the game that Sutter wins you games like that. Just the way he has a team just fight for the full 60.
Exactly. And we versed Pittsburgh on Tuesday. Came up 4-1 against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's looking really well this season as well, so that's a big win. And Edmonton. We first Edmonton at home. We lose 3-2. I really don't trust Markstrom against Edmonton.
Well, as someone at the game who was there at that game, we deserve to win that game. The deserve to win meter also said that, so I am right. And you know what? It sucked because I remember it being in the third, and we had the momentum. We were playing, we're just getting better zone entries, and then I'm thinking, okay, keep this up, we're fine. I'm like, all you have to do is just not have momentum change drastically. And it did.
McDavid scoring because Markstrom missed it.
The weird bounce, okay, and he's supposed to play it, and then he wasn't prepared. That's just how it is. You know, I feel bad for getting on Markstrom now for it, because I think he actually did. He did play a good game.
He did.
It wasn't a bad game. It is getting a little not agitating, just it seems like every game so far is a little weakling has gone in. That one, right? Like you can't completely blame on it. It would just be nice if the positioning was a bit better, or the puck was that was just like a dumping.
Well,
It sucks.
If I look at that game, the first goal that they scored on us, it was an own goal because of just how fast the play was going, and Noah Hannafin got into his own net.
I thought Draisaitl scored that. Everyone
I did
thought
too,
Draisaitl.
but then I saw the replay and Noah Hannafin tipped it in, and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. It's 1-1, and then Backlund on shorthanded goal. Great goal.
Yeah,
I
that
love
was a
Backlund.
great- You almost scored the shorty after. That was
I would have blown my mind if he did
God.
that. I would have. Wow, that would have been amazing.
Pair him really well there.
Why isn't he captain? Why isn't Michael Backlund captain? He deserves it. We all know it.
You know, as someone who I still don't really want to decide a captain yet, I think you got to wait a little while. Could you name it during the season? I think possibly.
you can.
I would almost prefer next season. I don't even want to think about it. I just don't think it matters so much right now.
True. Very true.
Definitely, I think he stepped up, but he fits that third line role, center
He
so
fits it
well.
so well.
Like it's like, sorry, excuse me, his career, like he was just made for that. And I think people like were saying like, oh yeah, like he was always supposed to be. It's nice. It's nice that you can kind of be versatile in the top three centers now on the team. It definitely helps with depth, and I can tell. I mean, I feel like it seems like we're winning a lot of faceoffs. I've really been liking Lucic, the Lucic line, the four. The fact that Sutter's got this team rolling out four lines this early, and all of them have been playing, good. Right, not all of them have been, I think, expected or dominant, but good.
I would say they're playing on a very consistent level.
Consistent, yes.
That's probably the word that I was thinking of using for here. And Lucic is playing very aggressive this season, and he's obviously kind of the main force of that fourth line. Other than Brett Ritchie, I got to give Brett Ritchie a lot of credit.
Yeah,
he's playing out of his mind.
I gotta say, like I was wrong about Ritchie. He plays so well under the center structure. Man, I feel like he's playing his role to a T right now.
Brett Ritchie has 4 points. He's got 3 goals and 1 assist with a plus-minus of 4.
I like that.
I do too.
I do like that. This is good. I don't mind Rooney either. Has been quiet, but he's never supposed to score points. I mean, solid fourth line. I think with what we were seeing on the lines, maybe he might be subbed out for Ruzicka for the next game.
Actually, yes, today's practice, they did switch up the lines a little bit. Sutter does have actually a line switch up here. So for the first line, we do have Jonathan Huberdeau. Kadri's making a jump, and Mangiapane's making a jump to the first line. Lucic made a huge jump up to second with Elias Lindholm and Tyler Toffoli. Dubé made a drop to third line with Backlund and Coleman. And you're right about Ruzicka. He's going to center with Trevor Lewis and Brett Ritchie. Nice. So Kevin Rooney does drop, but I would love to see Kadri, Mangiapane, and Huberdeau. That sounds like a fun line.
Yeah, that definitely is. I think that was something that, well, I wasn't probably speculating too much just because I think everyone wants just two centers.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, Lindholm was at the top. Although Lucic on the second line, it ain't 2012 anymore. So I'm kind of a little But yeah, so I think those line combos, I don't know if we'll see him. I think Sutter's just trying to just test some waters, see what can kind of work. And I think that can kind of go into a good discussion on the first line. I think that's the biggest talk, just because I think people are looking at how Tkachuk's doing. I think if last time I checked, he was second or third. It was third in scoring in the league right now. Johnny Hockey, just been doing all right.
The team hasn't.
The Jackets just, yeah. But there's definitely already a lot of personal... I guess that's how it is, right? Mm-hmm. A good elite player comes in, and automatically you think, right off the get-go. I think stick with that line for a little bit. I think eventually they'll gain their feet, but one thing I gotta say is I don't think Huberdeau is. It's definitely not Huberdeau.
No,
he's looking good. He hasn't been getting the points, but he's looking good. He has amazing hockey IQ. Just seeing in that one game live, like he has amazing hockey. He just knows where everyone is. Like that's his thing. He's just started playing with these players. These guys haven't formed the chemistry. I think once you get into the routine swing of things, he gets into that once he knows the system better and has gained some chemistry with his line mates, then things will start working its way into the score column. But his hockey IQ is just phenomenal.
Oh,
the amount, seriously, he just casually does behind the Lucic pass, just the casual behind the back passes. Nothing, he just knows where everyone is, and he plays the body well. He can be a 200-foot player, and I think he actually plays it better. It's just because he's not, as someone who is known to fight, right? Or
he's not as seen as a fighter.
Absolute hit, right? And that's one thing I also want to mention too, as I keep going on. But this Edmonton game, we need to see more physicality from the rest of the team. I think the fourth line was fine with that, but we need to see more physicality. They might have been a little on edge because there's a lot of penalties, a lot of really easy penalties being called in the first period.
It was
and
bad.
Of course, they let the whistles away at the end because that's just how refs do, right? They just change the rule book during each period. But
true.
There needs to be a little more physicality. I think that definitely could have edged us into the victory against Edmonton.
Very true. There was a lot of calls during the Edmonton game, and I even questioned a lot of it because
some of them were just weak, man. I'm like, because
I think the Lucic one was the worst one in my opinion.
It
was bad.
Weak, and then I swear I saw I think a nurse hit Dubé on the numbers and the boards. I'm like, and that wasn't called. And I'm like, oh, so we're not calling this? I mean, I don't want to be biased, but I think the refs have McDavid on the fantasy roster. That's my opinion. I don't blame you.
I can't say anything. I do have McDavid on the fantasy.
He could literally win you weeks just because he will score 8 points for you a night.
Yep. He's going off crazy in hat tricks, so I'll give him that. But you know what, T-Dawg? I do have one question for you. Who do you think is leading in points for the Calgary Flames right now?
Well, I'm glad it's Nazem Kadri.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm glad it's Nazem Kadri is because he's proven, I think, everyone wrong already.
He's pushing for that contract.
Because I think, too, is a lot of people are thinking, well, already the contract's going to be garbage. Just, I think a lot of his points were inflated because of the team he's on. That could be a truth, but Kadri's way more talented than I think any of us realize. But we get to see it in person now. We never got to see it.
True.
But he's very skilled. Same thing. He has great hockey IQ, similar to Huberdeau. He's got hands. I never really realized that until you actually started watching him on a gamely basis. But he's got some hands, man.
Well, I think the one thing that people kind of took over with Kadri was he did have his career high in points, just under 90 points last season. And you look at Kadri now, and obviously once you hit your peak, you're going to drop. And that's what everyone kind of is seeing with Kadri. But obviously 7 games, 9 points, 4 goals, 5 assists. He's still proven himself pretty well with the Flames, even just starting this season with them. So it's still there.
100%. The pessimism on the career year, they're going to go down as a negative thing. I mean, of course it's going to happen, but it doesn't have to be that. It has to be a drastic change.
No.
Even if he scores 80 points, that's a point per game player, right?
Exactly.
And I guess technically he'd already be on pace for that per se right now, right? But Kadri, what he brings. Yeah, he hasn't lost a step from Colorado right now, for sure.
I love to see it, especially for our team. And you know who? Okay, so when I'm looking at this as well, Anderson is actually second in points. He has a point per game, and he has 6 assists with 1 goal. I really like Anderson.
I love Rasmus Anderson. He is seriously. I can't say he's I want to say he's an underrated player in the league. I think he is. Definitely wouldn't say most, but it's awesome seeing him just develop into the player he is. He is solidified. The amount of ice time that him and Hanifin get.
True.
Well deserved, and he can play it all.
That's very true. I think with Anderson, he has kind of gone into the role, I think this year, more of the offensive defenseman, because I saw from last year, he kind of developed more into that. And what kind of scares me is his defensive ability, because it might lack a little bit more since he's trying to push more to the offense. And I've even noticed that with some of our games recently, we kind of gotten lacking in our defensive zone and caught on those bad breaks because we try pushing so forward into the offensive zone so soon and we get caught and we turn it into a 2-on-1 or a breakaway. And I instantly noticed that in like the last few games. And it's kind of concerning, but it's Sutter. He still had such a good defensive game, so I'm not maybe worried. Maybe it's still a chemistry problem, but
luckily the defense core on this team has the ability to, when they make a mistake, immediately they can fix the mistake, per se.
Very true. And actually, one defensive line I do like is Chris Tanev and Uyghur. That is a very defensive line. Like, Uyghur is physical. I didn't realize how physical he was. Uyghur. First few games, holy cow, he was laying the body. I loved it.
I'm absolutely loving Uyghur. You know what? You don't hear the name a lot on the TV. Don't care, because it means he's doing his job.
He's doing the little things right.
Same with Tanev. It is the same with Tanev. You don't hear his name called a lot because he does his job.
Exactly.
Simple as that. Yeah, and it's like that physicality. And that's the thing with this team. This team has an advantage with the physicality. They should have used it more in Edmonton, and I hope they bring it back against Seattle and other teams. And Seattle isn't known for, say, with the physicality, but some teams that you got to play soon, right? Like, I mean, Nashville can play that physical game. You're going to have to do that, right? So I really hope it's used a little more than what it is. But yeah, Uyghur's been great.
I love how Uyghur's playing. So far, I really do love how this team is playing. And would you like to give your prediction on what could happen with Seattle on Tuesday?
It could be a bounce back game. Although people, I'm a little worried now because someone was saying like, as soon as a team loses to Edmonton, they go on a losing streak. Vancouver, Pittsburgh, right? So hopefully nothing happens. I think the Seattle can be a win. Just don't make it into a trap game like Buffalo, because, I mean, look at the young stud, Natty Beniers. He's already absolutely just killing it right now. I think, Jared McKenzie and Schwartz. But you know what? They are not the strongest team on the back end nor in net, so make sure to score. I would say you score early, play a good breakdown game, and I think you're fine. I'd give it a 4-2 game. All these Flames games are pretty close, right? I'd give it a 4-2 game.
Oh, very fair. Yeah. Very fair. I also give Calgary the win here. Seattle, I've always had my little struggles with Seattle. Obviously, very young, not really strong team here, and it should be easy win. But you're kind of right on the topic with the Buffalo. If it becomes a trap game, oh brother, I don't think I can handle that again.
You don't want to lose game, especially it doesn't even matter because of course any game is hard. Any game is a full 60. Anything can happen, but you'd rather not lose the Pacific Division rivals. You don't, because you don't want to give them that. I would much rather give points to the Flyers, right? Because the Flyers don't really mean anything in that retrospect of playoff contention for us in the West. But just get as many points as you can. Start off early, but ultimately, I think what we can say, a good consensus, is a good start. Of course, there's problems, but these things, of course, can be fixed. And you know what? It's early season rust, right? Yep. And that's what's nice. Things can shake off.
That gives you a lot of confidence for sure. And having a coach like Sutter definitely gives you more confidence in the team. And how the team is playing in general right now gives you a lot of confidence. So I'm really happy. And guys, that is 1 month. We're past October. We're on to November. What do you think of how the Flames are playing? If you do have any comments, drop it down, leave a like, and please subscribe. We're almost to 90. I would love to see it on YouTube. And thank you guys for our first recap. T-Dawg, I'll give it to you.
Well, like B-Dawg said, thank you guys very much for watching. I have a question for you guys in the comments section, whatever you want to say. But how do you feel about the Flames? How do you feel about their start? And do you think they can take that momentum and bring it to the next month there? Anyway, boys, it's been a slice, and keep on rocking in the free world. Don't eat too much candy. Don't drink too much. And hey, remember, you probably got class tomorrow, 8 a.m., something like that. So just remember, get some good sleep and get ready to study. University's tough, man. Anyways, boys, have a good one.
Peace.